Aquaman number 13, written by Jeff Johns, art by Ivan Reyes. So last issue, number 12, left off with Vostok dying at the hands of Black Manta as he defended Aquaman. And this issue picks up Siberia 6 years ago, where I think we already had the flashback where they like saved a village from an avalanche or something like that. And we see that Arthur's sitting there looking over the cliff being like, we lost him. We lost Black Manta. And Vostok comes up being like, yes, but we saved a whole bunch of people. Like, isn't that good? And Arthur's like, why do you care about the villagers? And he's like, I still have a heart. So then we cut to modern day where Vostok's dead still. And Arthur's like, yep, I'm going to go kill Black Manta now. And they're like, good idea, I guess, if you really want to do that. Other issue, the entire island is currently sinking. We have no way off of it because we can't teleport, and we need to figure out how to handle this. So then we cut over to Black Manta, who has a scepter, and they're like, hey, did you kill Aquaman? And Black Manta's like, don't worry about Aquaman. I literally bombed the island, and we have everything we need. So he calls up somebody and says, like, hey, I have the things you requested. Do you have my payment? And the voice is like, yep, we're right in the middle of the storm. Come on over. So Arthur tells Mera, hey, make sure everybody gets out, keep the water away from them, get them safe. I'm going to kill Black Manta. You do it before anybody else dies. So at that point, Arthur bursts his way through the ground and he sees Manta teleporting away using the orb. And Arthur's like, damn it, I missed my chance again. Why does this keep happening? So they're all on the operative's ship, and they are able to trace the energy signature of the orb. And Dr. Shin is there as well. And it's just like, okay, so we're keeping an eye out on all these energy signatures, but he keeps on hopping around. So maybe he's having trouble controlling it, or maybe it's to purposely throw us off the trail. I don't know, but we'll keep an eye on it. Meanwhile, Dr. Shin, he is not to blame. We've officially established that he is in the clear here, but he does still feel bad because he was the one who brought Black Manta into their lives, because he contacted Black Manta in order to get a blood sample from Arthur in order to prove that he was Atlantean and get his career back. So at that point, Arthur steps up and he's like, okay, I'm the one to blame. Let's just get that out of the way. I killed Black Manta's dad, despite the fact that logically I know that he didn't kill my dad. So, oopsie. So anyway, he heads in to a place where he's keeping his Aquaman outfit, and he's like, Mera, I'm ashamed of who I am. Aquaman is just a costume. There is no real idealism underneath it. And Mera's like, okay, well, put it on anyway. Like, you're learning from your mistakes. You're becoming a better person. That's all that anyone can ask of you. So just do better. And that's all you need to do. So Mera gives him a hug, and they trace down the final appearance of the energy signature, which is inside this big storm that's swelling over the ocean. So they all decide to make their way there via operative ship. And as Black Manta is waiting for whoever his buyer is, a giant crab ship shows up from under the ocean, clearly Atlantean, and they're like, all right, give us the scepter. And he's like, give me my payment. And he's like, fine, whatever. And turns out the payment is the treasures of a ship that both he and his father were trying to salvage when Aquaman killed his dad. So clearly some sentimental there. And then Black Manta hands over the scepter, and he's like, and remember our second part of the deal. After everything's said and done, I'm the one who rules the surface. And the voice is like, yeah, sure, whatever. But before the scepter could change hands, Aquaman jumps in, grabs it, and fight scene kicks off. And Black Manta's firing off his like laser beam shots out of his helmet, trying to pin down Aquaman. A couple of Atlantean guards are also in the fight as well. But they're like, okay, we need that scepter. We can't leave without it. So maybe just go under the ocean a little bit and then raise up the storm levels until all of his friends are dead. And then we'll just take it in the aftermath. And at that point, I'm always blanking on his name, the prisoner of war guy. Oh, his name is Prisoner of War. Okay. Prisoner of War is like, guys, I can't see anything in this storm. Where are you? And Black Manta like blasts him. And he's still alive, but he's very badly hurt. And Black Manta's like, it's only fitting I should kill another of your friends before tonight is done. And before he can fire off the last shot on Prisoner of War, Aquaman takes his trident, stabs Black Manta's mask, so it's all busted up now. And so they do a little bit of hand-to-hand combat. He's still trying to kill Prisoner of War just to make his point, but then Aquaman gets in the way and he's like, no, I have to save the lives of my friends. They're so important to me now. So he jumps in and he like breaks Black Manta's arm before he can fire off a harpoon from his wrist. And he throws Black Manta down and he's like, you slit out my one friend's throat. You blasted him in the other one's spine. I should do so much work to you, but I'm not. I'm better than you. I will not kill you today. And Black Manta's like, no, come on. You can't just... This is like Ahab versus the whale. You got to do it. That's the only way this is going to end. And he's like, I probably will kill you one day, but not today. And he just leaves Black Manta to his own devices. So after everything's said and done, we get back to the surface. Shin is being looked after medically. All the relics are back and they're safe. And the others are like, okay, well, we got to like hide these again to keep them safe. So let's work on that, I guess. And Prisoner of War is like, you guys are going back home, aren't you? And I got to go back to the mental hospital. And Aquaman's like, no, just look, you were telling us how you're haunted by the ghosts of your friends from when you were in the war. Just put their souls to rest. So we see he makes his way to a farm out in Iowa. And he walks up to the door and knocks on it. And he introduces himself, but as he's introducing himself, like the ghost of his friend and father to this child and husband of the wife shows himself. And they're like, oh my God, it's Paul. And it's like, Paul really misses you and he wanted you to know that. And then we see all these other ghosts that are with him. So I guess that's what he's doing in the aftermath. And then finally we get back to Aquaman and Mera, who are standing on the dock at Amnesty Bay. And he's like, my dad used to stand out here every day waiting for my mother to come back, and she never did. And Mera, I guess that's really what this whole story's been about, is I've been afraid I was going to lose you because of my past, and I didn't want that to happen. And Mera's like, you accepted me despite my past. Like, you knew it, and you didn't care. You should trust that I'm going to do the same. So they kiss, and they hug, and then we get a vision from, I guess, in the ocean, where it's like, Mera will be a problem, but once we move her out of the way, praise the king. Yes, praise the king. So some onlookers, something with Atlantis, and it says next time, Throne of Atlantis. So yeah, no, interesting. I like it. It's a solid story. I guess the biggest issue I have with this is that it was rushed. Like, that entire back half felt really, really rushed. So this probably could have been like 2 issues, but they decided, no, let's just wrap it up now. And we did have like the emotional impact still. I didn't feel like anything was missing. It just felt like, compared to the rest of the story, this one was just like, okay, like we lost Black Manta and we found him again, and then we had this moment, and then we did all that. Like, this would have been stretched over at least 2 issues, probably more like 3 in any other issue of this book. So yeah, that's my only real qualm with it. Other than that, I did still enjoy it. Art-wise, looks great. Writing-wise, I guess my other complaint is that it didn't feel as poignant as I was hoping. Like, we went into this where Aquaman already knew he had changed, but he felt bad about his past. And the ending point felt like everyone pointing out that Aquaman had changed and that he shouldn't, but like, that should be reason enough for him to not feel bad about his past. But it didn't actually feel like Aquaman came to that conclusion, I don't know. Little bit disappointing in that regard, is that it felt like a big capper to the plot, but not a big capper to the story, if that makes any sense. So overall, this is a 6.5. A lot of that heavy lifting is the art, because it does look very good. Also, the Atlantean thing just came and went. I feel like that was the smallest little tease for no particular reason, but hey, I'm sure we'll get that in the next arc. So 6.5 for this, and we'll see where Aquaman goes from here.